Hallo Nederlandse studenten. Mag je naar deze video kijken? Wil je naar deze video kijken? Moet je naar deze video kijken? Kun je kijken? Ik hoop het. That's right, today is all about modal verbs. First off, what are modal verbs? Modal verbs are verbs that tell us more about the main verb further on in the sentence. It gives us some extra context about the sentence. And we will talk about 5 or actually 6 modal verbs. The first of which is willen. Ik wil, je wil, u wilt, hij wil, ze wil, we willen, ze willen, jullie willen. Now this is a tricky one for many people because it reminds them of will in English, but the meaning is very different. Because in Dutch, willen means to want. Wil je een film kijken? Do you want to watch a movie? Ze willen morgen niet werken. They don't want to work tomorrow. So yeah, be careful because this doesn't mean they won't work tomorrow. It means they don't want to work tomorrow. And as you have noticed in the sentence, the second verb, the main verb, goes at the end of the sentence. So let's see how that goes for the next modal verb, zullen. Ik zal, je zult, u zult, hij zal, ze zal, we zullen, ze zullen, jullie zullen. Zullen means shall, and we use it as you would use shall in English often for suggestions. Like, zullen we morgen naar het park gaan? Zal ik je met je huiswerk helpen? We can also use zullen to talk about the future, but that we'll talk about later when we talk about the future tense. And when you answer, don't answer with zullen. Like in English, if I ask, shall we go to the park? Yes, we shall sounds very strange. So what would be a better reaction if somebody asks you, zullen we naar de film gaan? Ja, leuk idee. Gezellig. Waarom niet? Next up is kunnen, and kunnen is used to talk about possibility, to talk about things that are or are not possible. Ik kan, je kunt, u kunt, hij kan, ze kan, we kunnen, ze kunnen, jullie kunnen. Kun je goed zwemmen? Can you swim well? Hij kan morgen niet afspreken. He can't meet up tomorrow. The difficult thing about kunnen, or actually the difficult thing is not about kunnen, it's about mogen. People often mix up kunnen and mogen. So let's compare them. Let's have a look at mogen. Because mogen is used to ask for permission. So in English where you might say, can I go now? In Dutch we would not use kunnen, we would use mogen because you're asking for permission to go. Mag ik gaan? Ik mag. Je mag. U mag. Hij mag, ze mag, we mogen, ze mogen, jullie mogen. Mag ik hier foto's nemen? Jullie mogen niet te laat komen. So why do we use mogen, may in Dutch primarily to ask for permission but not kunnen? Because sometimes it can be confusing. For example, if I say, kan ik hier eten? Are you asking if you can eat here, if it's allowed, or are you asking if there's any food sold here? So in Dutch there is a lot of overlap. People often say kan ik instead of mag ik, but to avoid the confusion it is better if you use mag ik instead of kan ik to ask for permission. Mag ik hier eten? Moeten is used to express obligation. Ik moet, je moet, u moet, hij moet, ze moet, we moeten, ze moeten, jullie moeten. Moet je morgen werken? Do you have to work tomorrow? We moeten met ze praten. We have to talk to them. But be careful, there's one thing that you have to be careful of, it's the negative. Because when you use moeten in the negative, it means you mustn't. So just like in English, you mustn't means it's a bad idea to do that. That's very different from you don't have to. So when would I use niet moeten? For example, je moet niet slapen achter het stuur. You mustn't sleep behind the wheel. This is a very bad idea. Don't do it. So what do we say if we just want to say, I don't have to? We use a different verb, hoeven. And we always use this word in the negative. And it always goes with the word te. Moet je morgen werken? Nee, ik hoef morgen niet te werken. Moeten jullie dit boek lezen? Nee, we hoeven dit boek niet te lezen. Okay, so this is the basics, but one more thing before I go. As I said, these verbs give information about the main verb in the sentence, so they always go with the main verb but not always. Sometimes we leave the main verb away. Why do we do this, or when do we do this? We do this when it's very clear from the context what we're talking about, and saying the main verb seems unnecessary and therefore becomes unnatural. For example, ik moet naar Amsterdam. Literally, we're saying I have to Amsterdam, but it is very clear, especially when you use the word naar. Naar is always for direction. So it's obvious that you have to go somewhere. So we don't say ik moet naar Amsterdam gaan. This sounds a bit unnatural. We would say ik moet naar Amsterdam. Ik kan morgen niet. I can't tomorrow. Of course, there has to be a context for this sentence. Somebody asks you if you can do something tomorrow. Kun je morgen tennissen? Nee, ik kan niet morgen. You don't have to repeat the verb tennissen because it is obvious from the context, from the conversation. Ik wil vanavond pizza. I want pizza tonight. What else can you do with pizza except for eating it? Logically speaking, not much. So you don't have to add ik wil vanavond pizza eten. Ik wil vanavond pizza is enough. Het mag niet. You're not allowed. It's not allowed, actually. There has to be a context for this. You just ask for your friend if you can do something, but somebody said no, so you report to your friend, het mag niet. It is not allowed. And your friend knows very well what he asked. If somebody offers you something and you're fine, you can say, ik hoef niet. So this doesn't really translate to English because I don't have to. It sounds weird if somebody offers you coffee, I don't have to. But in Dutch it's fine. Ik hoef niet. And last, zullen we, shall we what? For example, you're at a party and you told your friend 10 minutes ago that you want to leave and they're still talking to somebody. You can remind them by saying, zullen we? And they know very well what you're talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? I hope so. If not, or if you have questions, that's what the comment section is for. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'll see you here for the next video. Doei!